Today's going to be a super fast guide to the gymnastic rings. I'm going to start off with real basic movements, then I'm going to go through to more advanced exercises like muscle ups, L-sits, shoulder stands, and everything in between. If you don't have any gymnastic rings, I recommend you get some. They're great because they can train beginners through to advanced. They're great for home training, outdoor training, or take them to the gym and chuck them over a high bar. I'm going to start with the easier things, the foundations first, but like I say, hold tight because we're going to go fast. Now the number one position to start with is the support position. So holding in this position, ideally straight body, ideally toes off the floor, not closed in any way, not bending the arms pulled into the side. More advanced, you can turn the hands out. Most people will need to start with toe assist. So toe assist, you can either just bring the rings down or use a box, have it directly underneath the rings, pull the rings into your side. Really important, squeeze in, don't be like this. We want to be pushing the rings away from us, have a nice open chest. And then I can go tiptoes, I can lift one toe up, but then see if you can spend some time there. I recommend you doing holds of around 20 to 30 seconds. And if it's super comfortable, just do that as part of your warm up. Get rid of the boxes and hold there for time. Now exactly the same, but in the bottom of our dip position. So come down nice and low so you make contact with the upper arm or the front of the shoulder. Bring the rings into your side again, go tippy toes, push down as hard as you can on the rings. If you can, lift the feet up. And again, you could do 20 or 30 second holds in this position. It's a nice good stretch of the chest and shoulders. Toe assist as needed. Now at the top of the chin up, we have a couple of options here. So just make sure the rings are shoulder width, and that's shoulder width for everything you do. You could do your top of your chin up there, obviously toe assist. I could lift the feet up in that position, again, aiming for 15 or 30 seconds. The other option here is to take the ring up higher. And obviously you could have the rings up for the two-arm version. So here, now I'm going to bring my chest there and I'm on a single ring and I can hold there in that position. If needed, toe assist. And this one is slightly easier than this one because of mobility. Normally the closer your hands together, the easier the hold will be. Just make sure the chest is nice and open, and whichever version you're doing, you're touching the rings against your chest, pulling your arms into your side, and shoulders are back and down. Then we have the inverted position. Now ideally with the inverted position, you better pull into it and you go into a candle position or soldier, where you're making the body one segment. We don't really want to have it closed like this or broken. We want to fully open. Now if that's too much, you could be tuck, and for some people, the inverted position might be too advanced, so work up to that slowly. A different option to get into it would be to go backwards, walk in to there and step into the position, and again work up to 15 or 30 seconds in this position. Then we can start to look at the foundation strength skills. So we have the rows and the push-ups. Now with the rows, they can be nice and easy with my knees bent. I'm going to round the back, so I've got into a bit of protraction through the scapula, and then I'm going to open the chest, pull all the way up until I touch, so chest touching the rings, and then back down again. Now I can make that easier by walking backwards. So I could be higher up in this position, and again this is really good if you're new to rings or haven't been training for a while. Open the chest up and touch, round the back, and then all I can do is I can walk the feet down. I could stay in that knee bent position, or I could have the legs straight. Touching the rings at the top, going all the way down to that straight arms, rounded back. Now there you can work 5 to 10 repetitions, depends what your goals are and what your conditioning is. We can flip around to the opposite movement, which would be the push-ups. Now with the push-ups, I can play with the height of the rings. Now normally the lower the rings are, the harder the movement, but I can also walk forwards and backwards. So here is easier than here. So I'm starting the movement with that rounded protracted position with the scapula, hands are underneath my shoulders. I'm going to come down, I'm going to turn the rings so I can get nice and deep. Bicep touches the ring, hold for a second, push back with speed, touch the rings together to show control, and then exactly the same thing again. If I want to make it harder, I could raise the feet up or lower the rings down. I could go to harder variations. So if I take my legs a little bit wider, I could keep one arm straight and close one arm or bend one arm till I touch, come back up again. And these are archer push-ups. That's the cool thing with the rings, it gives you lots of options and you can move them around. Just be careful with the archer variations if you have got an attachment like this where it's on a straight bar, because when I take the arm out straight, it tends to slide the ring away from me and I could fall through the middle. And then if we stick with the bent arm push and pull, we've got the chin ups, with the standard ones being just touching the chest at the top of the movement. coming all the way down to straight arms. Now you can make that easier by having foot assist, so I could put a box. So then I could use toe assist on the way up and on the way down if I need it, or I could use it on the way up, which is the hardest, and then do a slow eccentric on the way back down. I could use that single ring option if I wanted to pull a little bit higher, so I could come there, try and get sternum to the ring. And obviously I could use those same progressions, band, eccentric only, box assist and things like that. Then we can go into ring dips. So from support position, coming down to bicep touches, push back open again. Now if that's too hard, and then you could use the toe assist or a little jump to get up, and then do a strong, slow eccentric on the way back down. Now if you want to use the band of any of these, just put it over the top like that, thread the long end through the short end until you have one like that, and then you can just hold the other one on. So if I'm doing dips, I put my hand directly down on that end there, have this end, one knee in, other knee in, and I'm in that position. Now you could practice your support position with this band assist, and then I come down to my bicep touches the ring, and then back up again. Just make sure with this one you are actively pulling in, and then you just make the band a little bit longer or go thinner band when things get too easy. We don't want to get stuck with the band longer than we need to be. Next, let's look at some straight arm strength. So I'm going to hang underneath the rings, ideally in a tug position with nothing touching the floor. And then from there I roll through, go through to my German hang, as deep as I can there, and then pull back out again. Now that's the standard skin the cat position. We can make it harder by opening the body out, not staying in a tuck position throughout the movement. I could do the pike version, which go to tuck, straighten the legs, then you come through. Floor's going to get in the way, so I bend the knees there, but you could stay in pike the whole time. But most people when they first start are going to get stuck in this position and not be able to get up. So how do we get up? So I could use foot assist to help me off the floor. Just make sure with this one that you're taking the hip up at the same time you push off the foot. So you push up, take the leg through, go through, and then I could use that same assistance out of the German hang. Back to there again. Now you can condition the German hang by itself, so you could go in this way. I can turn it over in that position, and then if I set it up correctly for my flexibility, I can kneel on the floor, and that's giving me a good stretch there. I could make it active, go less support, or even hold in that position. Now that's quite stressful on the shoulders and biceps, so be careful with that one. Have toe assist to start with and build time up slowly. Now even though that's straight arm strength, I could use bent arm strength to help me through the sticking points. So at this position, if I'm stuck here and can't get up, I could bend my arms to get up, but then when I come out on the eccentric, I just keep my arms dead straight to get that conditioning to eventually be able to pull up straight arms. Next, let's talk about the muscle up. Now with the muscle up, we need to know what the false grip is. So there's the false grip. So you see my arm is below the ring, but my hand is above the ring. So that means I can constantly push down on the ring when I do my transition. If I'm holding there, I need to somehow get the elbow on top. Now CrossFitters will kip to get it up there. Some people train this without a false grip, which is like a slightly bent position with the wrist, but I prefer to go with the easiest method. I think it just takes some condition in the false grip position, which is that one. So making sure you have contact there, so the ring is connected there. Now there's quite a bit of flexibility demand there, so just make sure you make a tight fist. You can put your knuckles together and then you straighten your arms. Now you can do that on the floor, you can do it on the wall, and then you can just practice it on the rings themselves, or even just steering wheel while you're driving. So in that position, make sure these are back shoulder width apart. I'm going to go into a false grip position there. So I've got contact with that part of the wrist where the wrist meets the hand, and I'm pushing down constantly. Now I could just hold there. I could do my transitions. So this is transitioning between the top of the chin up, bottom of the dip. Notice I'm on tiptoes, so I can decrease the amount of load through there, because that skin for most people is going to be very soft there, so it easily rips. So don't put too much demand on it to start with. So I can do repetitions of that transition, tracing the line of the pecs. I could do false grip rows. So I'm going into that false grip position, I've got the rings touching my chest, I walk out to that position, and then I'm going to do my standard row, but I turn the hands out to make sure that I maintain the false grip, pull back again until my chest touches the ring, and back again. Now if I start to lose the false grip, I need to stop, make sure I've got it again, and putting some chalk down the line of the hand and across that part will help, especially to start with. Then I can practice the full pathway of the muscle up, so I'm going to go down on my knees to a kneeling position there. I've laid backwards so I can get to a full false grip position there. I'm going to push through the toes, pull until my chest touches, go through the transition, push up. So that would be a toe assist muscle up. It could also be done with feet up on a box, or you could have someone assist you through the movement. There's variations using the band, so I'm going to sit into the band, make sure I've got my false grip again. That position, straight arms, bounce with a little bit of assistance through the transition into the bottom of the dip. Now just be careful here, it's just happened to me. This buckle has come down too low, so then when I push up out of my dip, it scratches my arm there. So just be careful of that. Make sure the buckle is always out of the way. We have eccentrics, which is just the down. So I start in my support position, come down to the bottom of the dip, pull into the false grip, bring the rings around in front of me, top of the chin up, and then down nice and slow. Then we have our L-sit positions. So support, bringing the knees up towards the chest, holding there for time, and then extend the legs. Now you don't have to extend all the way to straight from the tuck. You could go partial range in between, and again just holding there for time. Now if you have a shoulder stand on the P-bars, you can move that across onto the rings. So I'd normally teach that from an L-sit position here, move it up to your shoulder stand. Now it could be straight legs, I'm limited by the ceiling, and then you can practice either the transitions between the two, or you could just do holds in those positions. So like 20 to 30 seconds in this position. Now knowing what to do if you go over in that position is actually the start of the process of learning the forward roll. So being able to control, if I go over in this position, see I can take my legs out to the side, and now I've stopped myself on the straps. I can go down and exit with control. Once you've learned how to do that, you're never going to be in trouble if you go over in the shoulder stand. And like I say, it introduces you to the forward roll. So the forward roll is like a muscle up, but you roll around the rings and start in the shoulder stand position. So the way I like to teach this is we start in this L-sit position, we come up to shoulder stand, take the legs out to the side so it slows you down. Now I can look at my hands. I can slowly go through the rings as I go into my false grip position. Once I've got a good false grip, I can just continue the roll around back to the bottom of the dip and push back out. And that's a super fast introduction to the gymnastic rings, and should hopefully open your eyes up into the amount of exercises that you can do with them. There's plenty more as well. Now I have individual programs for the majority of those skills in the app, and I'll be adding more and more each week. So if you haven't checked it out yet, link is down in the description. Let me know if you have any questions or requests down in the comments, and I'll speak to you next time. Thanks guys.